Alright, hey VC, my name is Jamie. Welcome back. Hopefully you had yourself a really nice weekend. Here it's nice and sunny, and it has stopped snowing, and so all the leaves are down, so now I think I've got to be raking some leaves today, so I think that's pretty much big on the agenda today. And of course, also on the agenda, we've got some more vinyl and some stuff to show you. Picked up some John Lennon albums, and yeah, so we'll start it off with John Lennon's 1975 album, Rock and Roll. I believe this was his fifth album, and as the title suggests, as you likely well know, this is all rock and roll covers from front to back. I've always enjoyed this album. Obviously, it's a retro album, so certainly at the time when people were wanting new music from John Lennon, some were disappointed with this, but I just think this is a great album from front to back, and nobody's got such a great rock and roll voice like John Lennon, and he is really committed to the presentation of these songs, like really giving it his all. And it's interesting because this was certainly recorded at a fairly difficult time. He was separated from Yoko Ono at the time, so he was going through issues there, working with Phil Spector on a number of tracks at this time, with Phil Spector being much more difficult and much more erratic to work with, and then he was having some copyright issues from Come Together, where he'd promised to do some Chuck Berry covers and didn't come out until this album, and so there was lots of strange stuff going on. But this is one of those albums from John Lennon. I'm just so glad that this was made. This ode to rock and roll that, again, John Lennon just does such a great delivery and such a great cover from the Hamburg days, and when you've got the three other blurry images that are reportedly Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Stu Sutcliffe, reportedly. But just a great cover, great presentation overall. And this is a reissue. This is on the Music for Pleasure label that did some reissues of Beatles solo stuff, but this is a British pressing that I picked up, so I was really pleased to see that. And it comes with a sleeve like that, and the label's kind of cool, but yeah, this is a British pressing, Music for Pleasure. And the only difference in the reissue that I can see is that the cardboard jacket's a little thin, not too bad, but that's the only noticeable thing for me offhand. Any difference from the original. And this reissue came out in the early 80s, I believe, I think 81. But yeah, just pleased to pick this up, and the price wasn't too bad at all. So yeah, John Lennon, Rock and Roll. And just always love the cover, and yeah, just great when you're doing Beep Up a Lula, Stand By Me, Can't Catch Me, Ain't That a Shame, Peggy Sue, Slippin' and a Slidin', and it's rocking from start to finish. Great. And also I picked up John Lennon's pretty much the first solo album in terms of getting into the 70s with John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band. And this is a Canadian pressing, but it's on the Apple label, so it's a little frayed up at the top. And happy to see that the inner sleeve was included. With this, it's, again, not in super great shape, but and certainly what a heavy and confessional album for John Lennon when you kick it off with Mother, Working Class Hero, Isolation, Love, Look at Me, God, My Mummy's Dead. Again, produced with Phil Spector, and I forget that the musicians on this are John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Ringo Starr, and Klaus Voormann, and that's the band that you've got on this album. But certainly heavy album for John Lennon to kick off his solo career. Oh yes, I should show you the label. The record's a little scuffed, but it plays quite well. And yeah, so this is at least an early copy, Canadian pressing, but on the Apple label. As you can see, it's a little scuffed, but it plays actually okay. So very happy to come across that. All right, now this is something I showed you earlier on our video updates, and we were talking about the Ogden's Nut Gone Flake from the Faces, and this is the CD box set that came out. This is celebrating the 50th anniversary, and what I didn't notice initially, up at the top, of course, the 50th anniversary, but then they've even included sort of here, digitally remastered for cool, clean, satisfying sound. But I like the way they've just, seamlessly incorporated that. And so this gives you the mono, the stereo, outtakes, and then a DVD with this one. And yes, because I do really love this album, and I'm a sucker for mono records and whatnot, I did pick up the vinyl version. And so there you go. Obviously, with this vinyl version, you don't get the DVD. And with the outtakes vinyl, you don't get quite as many tracks as you do on the CD, certainly with the limitations of vinyl. But even this, Luxury 50th Anniversary, this mastered at half speed for cool, clean, satisfying sound. So quite nice. So let's open it up and take a look inside. And it certainly compares well. It just opens up like this. And then this is also colored vinyl, so that's very cool to see. So I'll just pop these out like this, and then they have it like that, and then just original mono LP up at the top, and then that for the back with the track listings here, original mono LP there, and then inside protection for the label, and then it's red, white, and blue. So we start off with the mono on red vinyl, and they sound great. I mean, they sound really, really good. And as I said, I've never owned Ogden's Nut Gone Flake on vinyl, so I'm kind of excited about that. And then the next one, and I guess if you order this vinyl box set from the actual Small Faces website, you do get an autographed, Kenny Jones autographed picture or cardboard thing inside. I didn't go through the Small Faces website, so that's not included in this one, but here's the original stereo LP, and we'll continue, of course, with the color theme, and then there's the label, and then so you've got red, white for the stereo album, and then following through with the outtakes. And as I mentioned with the outtakes, they don't give you as many tracks as they do on the CD version. And then of course blue vinyl. Very nice. And the great immediate label. But again, to me, this is just a great album. I just love this album from 1968. If you're not familiar with it, check it out. If you like psychedelic, if you like, great 60s rock, you will certainly enjoy. And then, of course, not to forget the booklet. That compares well with the CD copy. This is not a hardback, but it's nice LP size, and it gives you everything. If you've seen the earlier video, just obviously on a much bigger scale. So it's nice that, again, the booklet is good for the LP version, and it's good for the CD version, so they didn't cut corners there. And then the hype sticker, I decided to put just inside there, and then I included what was actually on the cardboard box in there too. And 50th anniversary, 3 LP, red, white, and blue, 180-gram vinyl, and newly remastered at half speed for superb sound, as they say. And then that's simply on the back. But yeah, no DVD that's included with the vinyl, which is interesting that they could have actually done that. I don't know why they didn't. But there you have it. So certainly going to enjoy that. And we got a few more we could show you. Finally picked this up. I've had this on CD before, but my goodness, what a wonderful album. Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions. And this is on Motown, a Canadian pressing. And, what can you say about this when Stevie Wonder was really forging his incredible solo career through the 70s, when you've got Living for the City, Higher Ground, He's Mr. Know-It-All. From start to finish, this is a great album. And I can show you the inside. It's interesting, the person who owned this, I don't know if they were experimenting with their pen to see if it writes, and then on the inner sleeve, or the gatefold, and then they write their name there, and then they also write their name on the label, which I'll show you. But, well, it is what it is. But so that's, yeah, the great gatefold there. And then this, it's gatefold, but opens up from the inside like that. And as I mentioned, this is different looking label since it's Motown Canada. And as you can see, the person wrote their name there. So, and there you go. All right, but what an album. And he certainly had a number of great albums through the 70s with Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions. Absolute must have. And some Canadian content for you before we wrap things up. This is a band from British Columbia, they had hits through the 80s on radio. This is Strange Advance, and their album, stylized as 2, not T-W-O, but 2, because they only released, I think, 2 or 3 albums. And this one was still in the Shrink, which was nice to see, and this had the hit We Run was a big radio hit, and Home of the Brave is kind of the other hit from this. And this is really new wave, 80s pop, kind of Flock of Seagulls sound, if you're not familiar with this band. And reportedly, they're trying to get a tour together and doing some crowdfunding, reportedly, to get things going again. But we shall see. So this came with the inner sleeve that has the lyrics and everything like that, and on Capitol. So there you go. Okay, well, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thanks again so much for stopping by. So much appreciate the comments on all the previous videos. And we'll chat again, and hit subscribe. Bye-bye.